Okay, this is a quick demonstration of how to set up a test domain with Google Apps. So what we're going to do first is go through this overview, and I'm going to bounce back and forth between this and actually setting it up. But kind of the overview is that the first thing to do is pick an available domain name, and we'll go through some of the steps at the beginning that will show you how to find out what's available and what's not available. After you pick the domain name out and purchase it, Google will take you directly to the Google Apps for Education, not for education, the Google Apps domain administration screens. So let me show you how that works. If you go to www.google.com/apps, you get to the screen that has the apps for business and education. We're looking at this column here, just the plain Google Apps. It's the free version. We'll press Learn More. Gives you some more information about how many users are available, what's available in the product, what you're missing. So in the test domain, you don't get Google Groups and Google Video, but you do get Docs, Sites, Calendar, and Gmail, as well as the other Google applications here. So let's go ahead and press the Get Started button. At this point, this is where you can check to see if a domain name that you want is available. Also, if you already have a domain name picked, you can enter that in the Enter Your Domain Name here. But keep in mind, you'll need to know a little bit more about your domain name service records, your DNS records. So what I'm actually going to focus on is the I want to buy a domain name portion. So basically what you'll do is you'll try to come up with a domain that you want to purchase. And again, it's going to be $10 a year. You see that over here. So when I was looking for one, I selected dlsdemo.com. Now that one is already taken by me, so if I press check availability, it says it's already registered. Then it gives you another, some other ideas about that name. But essentially you can find a name, so we'll say my DLS demo, or you can search for something completely different down here. Press continue. At that moment, you continue to the registration, and this is where you'll fill in all of your information for your domain. One thing that I would suggest is perhaps getting a separate Gmail address to be your Gmail, to be the email address for your domain registration here. It's just something that if you don't want to keep it tied to your district account, you can use that Gmail account here. I'm not going to go past this part because once you get to Google Checkout, it's going to ask for your credit card information, etc. After you complete this portion, it will dump you into the setup screen. You see this up here. I can't get to it now, but basically I'm going to now jump over to the demo site that I've set up, which is where at the end of registration you will also be directed. So the site is www.google.com/a/whatever the domain name is that you selected. So in my case it was dlsdemo.com. I press enter, and at this moment I'm going to be getting a management screen. Now the one thing that when you set up the domain the first time, it's going to send you login information to the email address that you registered. So at this point I already have created one. I actually created multiple users, but at the beginning I had to create one user. That would be the administrative account, and for that the username is David, and then I type the password in. Now at this point, now you're going to start seeing it'll dump you right into the Google dashboard for dlsdemo.com, and you can see that up here, dlsdemo.com standard edition. I'm logged in as David, and because I'm the administrator, I have rights to the administrative control panel, which is the google.com/a/cpanel/dlsdemo.com address. So if you're going to go around on the navigation, probably the first thing that you want to do is follow the setup guide. Now I've gone through about half the setup guide, but it's not something that I really need to do anymore. So what I'm going to do is you guys should follow this part, the continuous setup guide. But essentially the first thing you want to do is create some users. So at this point I have created a user called David Spangler, and after I created that username, I selected the username and went to privileges and checked the box in administrator privileges. So that means that the user david@dlsdemo.com is the administrator for the dlsdemo.com domain. So the address of that user is david@dlsdemo.com. From this screen as well, you see that I can actually jump back to an inbox as well. And so this is the inbox for that user, david@dlsdemo.com. So if I wanted to go back to the administrative control panel, I type www.google.com, dlsdemo.com, and it brings me back to the dashboard. Now we're almost done with setting up the basic services for the site. The core Google Apps suite that's set up with this includes email, calendar, chat, docs, sites, and mobile. But again, you can add more services as you want to for the domain. The other thing that I've changed is that when I press calendar, there's a screen here that says your calendars can access calendar at. Now in this section, I have changed it to calendar.dlsdemo.com. That is a convenience URL. So this is just so that a user in this domain doesn't have to remember that huge long address to get to the calendar. But you can press change this calendar entry, and this is the same for sites and mail and all the other features. Originally it starts off as google.com/calendar/hosted/dlsdemo.com. So what I wanted to change it to was calendar.dlsdemo.com. Also, I could make this word calendar be whatever I want it to be. Now the last part of the name you can see can't be changed because that's your domain name. So this is considered kind of a pointer to another part of your calendar. So I'm going to another part of the of your Google Apps site. So I'm going to cancel this because I want to leave it the way it is. But that's really the kind of the quick start setup guide. A lot of the information that is contained under domain settings and advanced tools. You don't need to worry about if this is your test domain, but it is nice to have this sort of Google Apps dashboard for when you're studying the admin test. Okay, thank you.